Here's why we're better than the rest. For purchase transactions, we finance up to 90% of the purchase price of a single-family 1 to 4 unit residential property as long as the loan amount doesn't exceed 75% or 80% of the current as-is value, depending on the state your property is located. That means for most investment purchases, you only need a 10% down payment of your purchase price, not 20% to 35% the other guys charge. Plus, we also finance 100% of your rehab cost in the same loan. That's right, 100% of your rehab cost. So here's how it works. David found this great investment property that's currently worth $150,000 as is today, before any rehab improvements. David can buy this property at a discounted purchase price for $120,000. Since David lives in Florida, the maximum loan-to-value, or LTV, is 75%, which means David can get a maximum mortgage loan of $112,500, or 90% of his purchase price, whichever is less. Since David's purchase price is $120,000, a 90% loan would equal $108,000. So, David qualifies for 90% financing since his 90% loan is less than 75% of the current as-is value. Great! David now has his 90% purchase financing ready to go. But David also needs an additional $40,000 to rehab the property to like-new condition. So, he also gets 100% financing to cover the cost of his rehab. The rehab loan amount cannot be more than the purchase price of the property. So, David uses investor rehab funding to finance his new investment property with only a 10% down payment and with 100% financing for his rehab budget. On the day of closing, David shows up with his 10% down payment and his closing cost. David is now set to make a huge profit once he fixes and flips his new investment property. Now that David is a customer of investor rehab funding, there is no limit to the number of real estate investment properties he can purchase or refinance. Qualifying for financing with investor rehab funding is easy. There's no income documentation required, no employment verification required, no source or seasoning of down payment monies. You can close in your business entity name or personal name. First-time investors also qualify for funding. No personal credit pulled when closed in your business name. 500-plus credit scores okay when credit is pulled. Interest rates range from 8% to 15%, depending on experience and LTV. On average, just 10 to 15 business days to close. And we can do up to 80% LTV refinance cash out if the current owner is on title for 6 months or more. To get started with investor rehab funding is simple, easy, and free. Just complete the online application and get your pre-qualification results within 24 hours.